welcome to my channel. This is Peculiar Patman. As you can tell, we've got another different background. I feel like every video is just a different background. So I spent about 2 hours this morning trying to set up all new equipment, green screen, brand new microphone, brand new lighting, and it's all failed miserably because I can't set anything up. So hopefully next time we'll actually have a decent background, even though this one's quite pretty. To be fair, it wouldn't have actually done too well considering I've got green on today, so I would have looked like a floating head with just like a v-neck and some hands, just all about. So today we're going to be talking about history, just topics from history that are Today's topics are going to include touching on eating, bestiality, cruelty to animals, and just a load of gruesome topics. So it's really not for the faint-hearted, this one. A lot of them I was sitting there like, and literally nothing shocks me. So do with that what you will. So our first subject is on cats. You either love them or hate them. They can be very temperamental. So, I mean, to be honest, you'll be stroking them and then you think you're like a cat person all of a sudden, and then they'll just bite you out of nowhere. Like, why? Literally, why? What's going on? I'd love to know what's going on in their heads. Pope Gregory, in the year of 1233 to 1234, actually disliked cats to the point where he declared war on them. Okay, so this one's actually wild reading into it, and I'm definitely sure that this Pope had a screw loose because he thought that the plague was caused by Satan, because Satan's like,
oh, my little agents, the cats that I've sent onto Earth.
That Pope's gone and unalived a bunch of them. Let's just start a plague as revenge. So, I don't know if you want to blame it on that, I suppose. How do you even get to that point? Is it just maybe the fact that, I don't know, he could have like stroked one and it bit him, scratched up his Pope hat or whatever? They could just be aggressive out of nowhere. Apparently it's something to do with, it's like overstimulating. So it's like you can stroke them for a bit and then they'll enjoy it, and then all of a sudden they're like, stop it. You're done. You're done. That's obviously what the Pope was like.
You're done. You're done.
Declaring a war on you. So due to Pope Gregory disliking cats, this actually led to the mass unaliving of cats, unfortunately. And around this sort of time, it actually was when the plague was around. So historians actually believe that this led to the flourishing of rats. Because, I mean, cats attack rats, they attack rodents like mice as well. And obviously it's the fleas that go on the rodents and it spreads the plague. Which, to be quite honest, I kind of believe to a certain point, but then also, what if they're gonna unalive the rats? What if they're going to unalive the mice? Then the cats are going to go to their owners and they're still going to get there. I suppose, to be honest, flourishing, yeah, they're mating and then they're going all around. So, yeah, I can kind of understand that. So while I was researching this, I found this quite interesting because this actually brought out the superstition that black cats are unlucky. And obviously, who usually owns black cats? Witches. And so this actually brought out a new job, which was the witch hunter. So yeah, women, as per usual, get the blame. Women always get the blame. Standard. So, poor cats, poor witches. We just can't cut a break, baby. So, is there any shock there? Literally no shock there whatsoever. To be honest, I don't actually understand why people in power or people who have that much power have to always cause wars. Like, why is it always wars? It's bad enough bringing in people that, like, innocent people, and making them do like bad stuff. Like, if you're angry, if you're so angry, why don't you go over to that person and go fight them yourself? Why have you got to bring us into it? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit jarring. And I mean, why have you got to bring animals into it as well? Like, what have they actually done to you? Isn't that nice?
Wow, it's very nice.
So our next one's about Egyptians, about King Tutankhamun. I find Egyptians so interesting. The history is just bonkers. The herbal remedies are amazing. But yeah, today's one is about King Tutankhamun. In the years of 1332 to 1323, he ruled. He ascended to the throne when he was just 8 to 9 years old, which is absolutely bonkers. Imagine just having that much power at that age. I mean, I know you're going to have people telling you what you should do and bits like that, but you've got the final say. So, I mean, kids these days have Lego, and then he'd be like, yeah, just build that pyramid for me. Even though pyramids were like graves, but yeah, build that statue of me. So I'll be calling King Tutankhamun King Tut just for short, just in case you're thinking, oh my god, you're talking about that person, and now you're talking about this person. But the reason why he's made this list, and it's really, really mucked up, is because it was believed that his parents were actually siblings. It's giving Alabama.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Alabama Family.
Category is incest. But it was actually quite a normal thing for like royal sort of families to have incest, or have incest, do incest, I don't know. But the reason for this is because they wanted to keep the royal bloodline pure. So a lot of times it would be quite common for them to sleep with their siblings and sleep with their parents. Cleopatra used to do it. I mean, to be honest, if I was to count every single pharaoh and like all that jazz that used to do it, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's disgusting. I mean, even royals nowadays, a lot of them are cousins. Like a lot of them are related in some way. I mean, disgusting as it is, it actually happens literally in the UK. I mean, Queen Victoria and Albert, her husband, were first cousins, which is grim. And to be quite honest, I heard something quite a while ago and I searched it up and I was like, oh my god, it's actually true that, well, our king now, King Charles, him and Diana were actually related. So they were, I believe it was, they were quite far away, but still, they were still cousins, which is odd. Let me find out what it was. Yeah, so Diana and her husband, Prince Charles, King Charles now, were very distant cousins via several lines. So it's just grim. King Charles and Camilla related. So this is actually just wild. I mean, to be honest, this deserves its own episode. But Camilla and Charles are actually related as well by very distant cousins and stuff like that. But Camilla's also related to Diana. So all three of them are related. Obviously by like very long time ago, but still that's really messed up. And then it doesn't actually, like this part, I just thought was like, oh, get that tea up, baby. This is the tea on this part, even though this is coffee. So also note that Camilla's great-grandmother was a mistress to King Edward, the great-great-grandfather of King Charles, which is grim. So Camilla's been being naughty since back day. I mean, no wonder Camilla's the way she is. I mean, even her family's been doing the old mistress business like her. Runs in the family. So yeah, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but I mean, it's interesting. But it's basically to keep the noble bloodline pure. So the reason why this isn't around now, even though I've literally just gone off on a tangent about the royal family and incest, but I'd like to hope that they don't sleep with their parents and their siblings, is A, because it's jank. That's what Google said. It said jank in them words. No, that's just me. And B, because it leads to birth defects. So King Tut actually had a very prominent overbite. He had spinal issues, he had a clubfoot, and he had epilepsy, which is actually really, really sad. But his bad luck didn't end there. So, I mean, to be honest, how bad can your luck actually be when you're literally like ruled over an empire? You probably got the best treatment about, do you know what I mean? And I mean, Egyptian remedies, I follow them, so they must be doing something right. But he actually married his half-sister. They had two sets of twins and both unfortunately passed away, probably because of, again, it's half-sister, but still, that's still wrong. That's still incest. That's still incest in my books. So King Tut actually passed away at age 19, which is really, really sad because he's so young. But it was believed that it was an accident, but a lot of people thought it was foul play. A lot of people thought it was actually infection. But to be honest, when you've got that many health issues, it could be a lot of different things. And I mean, we can only do so much considering that it was such a long time ago. It was thousands of years ago. And there was actually a ruler. So obviously he passed away at 19. There was a pharaoh after him called Hiram-Heb. And he actually tried to erase all of the history of King Tut. So unfortunately, there's a lot of things that would have been there. So there could have been statues of him. There could have been just loads and loads of different things that we don't know about him that we probably won't even know now, just purely because Hiram-Heb just destroyed a load of stuff. So that's sad. So it took us quite a while to, well, thousands of years, in fact, to find out bits about him, which actually I like, as much as that's horrible, that interests me even more because it makes me think, oh my gosh, so if that's like thousands of years later, like what more have we not discovered? So I really want to get my teeth done. I think I'd be a bit alarmed if my dentist was to do this, because in the 19th century there was a lot of issue with tooth decay. So what they thought they'd do is combat this issue with makeshift dentures that were actually made out of deceased soldiers' teeth, which is disgusting. So they were basically ivory based plates that would have the deceased soldiers' teeth on. And then if you don't know what ivory is as well, ivory is basically just teeth and tusks of animals. So for example, elephants, which is why a lot of them unfortunately get unalived, or they'll just take them off, which I think is absolutely barbaric. It's horrible. This is a super random one as well. So you know, you get people that have like eye surgery and you hear them like bonkers stories where they'll be like,
oh, I've got some other person's organ now, so I've got all of their memories.
Like they'll have a part of a heart, or they'll have eyes or whatever like that, or they'll have like part of the brain. And then they start like having these memories that aren't theirs. And it's just, I find it bonkers. Like I love stuff like that. But imagine if that was the same with teeth. Like you get someone else's tooth in it and it's like,
Oh my god. I know how to ride a motorbike now.
oh, can you imagine? That'd be so weird. Right, so this one is so messed up. Like I was absolutely baffled by this. But in the Iron Age in Ireland, I've got the Irish colours on. Oh my gosh, I gotta get the dingly danglies. I'm gonna put a little dingly dangly on for the Irish one. Yay! This is an Irish one, so I thought I'd do an Irish theme to it. There we go. I haven't even bought these, I just nicked them off my sister because I'm in her house, so why not, baby? There we go, we're fitting with the theme now, so hopefully they don't bother you too much. So during the Iron Age in Ireland, for a new king to be crowned, he'd have to do a special ceremony. And what this ceremony was it was basically they'd bring a horse out. The king would be surrounded by all of his new people of the towns and all that jazz of who he was in charge of. And he'd have to get this horse and penetrate it in front of everybody. And then once he's done that deed, the horse would be unalive straight away. And what they do with the horse is they cut it up into tiny little pieces. They'd get a massive thing of like boiling water. That would have to be massive actually. Think about how big that horse would be. They'd have to get like multiple of them. Anyway, so they got this big old stew pot for this like cut up horse that's just been like absolutely traumatized, I'm sure. So they'd boil the water and they'd put it in a bath for the new horsebanger king. That's not actually his name, and to be honest, there's not one of them. There was more than one, but that's going to be his name going forward because I just find that funny for my own humour. And then what they would do is he'd be in the bath with this boiled water that they've like obviously just cooked the horse in. And then everyone that had watched him penetrate the horse, they would have to eat the like chunks of horse. They would eat that. They'd have like a lovely little dinner cut up horse. That's just literally been cooked in that as well. And all of that boiling water would be poured in a bath for the new king. And so what he'd have to do is he'd like lay down and he'd have to like drink out of it, like not using his hands for some reason. It said that on there. He'd have to like lay down and be like drinking it out the bath like that. And then and then he was crowned king, which well done, Mr. Horsebanger King. To be honest, how would you even be able to come back from that? Like, yeah, fair play, you're king, but you banged a horse. That's disgusting. Disgusting! Disgusting! What I want to know is who's actually come up with this idea. Like, this is so messed up. Like, who's actually thought of that? Like, what happened to good old-fashioned sacrificing? No, I don't. I like literally don't. I don't. Obviously, don't encourage sacrificing. But especially like if you look back at so many other history things as well, a lot of the time they're sacrificing virgin things, and that horse is not that poor horse is not going to be a virgin. It's oh my god, it's going to have to go like it's in horse heaven. It's going to have like therapy. Sometimes I really do wonder about my mind. So in the 19th century, the steam engine train came around, and it was actually greeted with some unusual panic, as some experts actually believed that women if they were travelling at 50 miles per hour, their wombs would fly out of them, which is a bit odd. Do these experts really think that you're going to be travelling at, obviously you're not driving it, but you're going to be travelling at 50 miles per hour and your womb's just going to come flying out of you? I mean, yeah, half the women on the Jeremy Kyle show probably would happen to, but... Like, imagine travelling on something for, like, the first time, you'd be like... Imagine standing up. Bloody hell. Like, you go on a bus, to be fair, we used to go on the, like, back in the day when I used to have to go on the bus, that probably went at about 60 miles per hour on the motorway. And you have to stand up sometimes. Obviously, not now because I drive, but I find that so bonkers how back in day they wouldn't have even been able to experience that. Like, imagine they would have trained at 50 miles per hour, they'd be like... Oh, mate, that is actually bonkers. I mean, to be honest, thinking about that as well, it's kind of just making me think that them experts clearly were not getting laid whatsoever, because they clearly don't know how a woman's body works. Like, you've got legs to be clothing. What kind of women are you running into? They're probably going into brothels. They're either going into brothels or they haven't got laid. There's, like, no in between there, because clearly they haven't met a real woman. What I want to know as well is why they're concerned about wombs and they're not concerned about things that are, like, literally our eyes. So why are they not concerned that our eyes are going to pop out? I mean, I know, to be fair, they must have done, like, autopsies and bits like that. I mean, they've done them since, again, like, the Egyptian era. Like, they would take bodies apart and stuff like that. But, I mean, they must know, yeah, they're attached. But how do they not know that the eyeballs are going to come out? Which, obviously, they wouldn't. But, do you know what I mean? Why would they not think that? Why would they think about womb and then... That's just odd. Call yourself an expert. So in 1847, a man called Robertliston was named the fastest knife in the West. The reason he was called that is because he would do bits like this. So he was actually performing a leg amputation on a patient. He managed to do it in 25 seconds, which, wow, that's so cool. Like, that's so amazing. Well done, you. But whilst he was doing that, he actually managed to cut off some of his assistant's fingers, which is brutal. Like, imagine just helping out and then least expecting that. To be honest, he's probably looking at the assistant like, looking a bit mouldy. Anyway, gotta do you a favour, cut him off. But yeah, the sad thing with that is the patient and the assistant both actually passed away because of infection. So, but he did it in 25 seconds. So, a leg and a couple fingers, 25 seconds. That's pretty impressive. So it doesn't actually stop there. There was a spectator that was watching and he actually passed away from shock. So, I mean, apparently it was because the knife got too close to him. So I don't know if maybe he was cutting him like that or whatever. But to be honest, I think the shock, like, that could have had his blooming eye out. I don't think it really matters anyway now because he's popped his clogs. But, I mean, just the shock alone of literally watching that happen, especially because you think you're going there to get someone's leg amputated, and then the assistant, who clearly doesn't know that they're getting their fingers chopped off, they're probably in panic. Like, imagine the screams as well coming from the other person. Like, ooh, that is great. That must have been absolute chaos, especially then spectator. Like, everyone must have been running around like headless chickens. Legless humans. So we've got a short one, but a shocker. In 1894, a priest called Max Trammell was taking a winter walk in January when he noticed that there was a group of little boys playing tag. Great start. Got a priest and a group of little boys. Where's this going to head? Just bear with. When he noticed that one of the little boys, unfortunately, he'd actually slipped on some ice into the water and was just quickly swimming along. He was trying to get out, bless him. And the priest thought, oh, obviously I'll go help him. So he went and helped him out of the water, saved the little boy. We don't know if he could have perhaps passed away if he didn't help him, but obviously the priest helped him like you do. Anyway, so he helped him and came to realise that the boy's name was Adolf. And, well, yeah, I don't know. Do you know many Adolfs around? If you can guess his last name, I'll give you 5 points, which you could do absolutely nothing with. So, yeah, his name was Adolf Hitler.
Dun, dun, dun.
Although it was never actually confirmed by the dictator that this happened, many historians actually believe that the little boy was him due to quite a few different factors believing that it was him and matching up with what happened. I mean, to be quite honest, he should have just left him there. But how would you know? Do you know what I mean? Like, how were you to know? I mean, God's probably up there like, mate, did you not get my message? Told you not to save him. Told you there'd be a boy coming. Why did you save him? But yeah, to be fair, I think if you didn't save that little boy, like, you would have a massive guilty conscience. Right, so the summary, what have we actually learned in today's lesson? History lesson. No, what have we actually learned in today's episode? There's been a lot of, it's been very heavy, it's been very gruesome this episode, probably one of the worst ones I've done, but I love a good shocker. I mean, don't be cruel to animals. I'm pretty sure it's self-explanatory anyway. If you want to hurt animals, then you can literally go to hell. Just don't hurt animals, don't be cruel to them. Apart from wasps. Wasps can f off. No one likes wasps. What do wasps actually do? Don't bang family members. That's pretty self-explanatory. And to be honest, if you literally have any inkling that you want to do that, please go and seek help, because that's not normal. That is literally not normal. That is just very, very strange. But yeah, just different men trying to tell you what to do. Like, go away. Oh, your tutters are going to bloody fall out on a roller coasters in that tiny little top. I don't care, mate. Let everyone see my ice gems. Do you know what I mean? No. But yeah, do what you want. Like, obviously, you do believe it, experts to a certain amount. But, I mean, just use your common sense, really. That's all I would really give advice on. So if you've made it this far to the end of the episode, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, comment if you enjoy the content. I want to bring out a lot more videos more often. They just take quite a while, busy schedule and all that. But, yeah. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you want to leave a comment, like, subscribe, whatever, all that jazz. Peace out, baby. Big old shiny forehead. Yep, baby. Some messed up subjects. I can't stop drinking coffee. Hoeing about runs in the family. King Tut, he actually had King Tut. Incest to animals? What? Right, okay. Yeah, no, I don't understand that. Why am I so shiny? No one likes crackheads. Pope Gregory.
Declared pardon. Is the chicken goose on?
Is he gonna chicken goose on?
I need to get my head checked. Oh. The spread of the bubonic plague. Bubonic plague? I don't know how to say it. Bubonic plague. One of the counters want to say it like that.